it really is a very, very long and complicated journey. But a few of the things that are solid all the way through is that she's like the Queen, the late Queen. She doesn't explain and she doesn't complain. Nobody's heard her moan. Nobody's heard her try to attack the people who've called her the ugliest woman in the world and the nastiest person in the world. She's just quietly got on with what she was going to do. She was a woman who parents never expected her to have a career, nor did she want one. She wanted to get married, have lots of children, have ponies, dogs, horses. But once she started doing engagements with Charles and then on her own, she's grown to absolutely love it, and she's working incredibly hard. She's very keen on the monarchy. She's very dutiful. And all in all, I think she'll make a wonderful wife to him. He said when they first met, when she was 24 and he was 22, that she was the only person he could really talk to. And I think that that's very, very important when you are a monarch and you are bearing a very heavy weight and you are alone. Whereas with Camilla, who can always make him laugh, always support him and is very deferent to him. And I think that it will make a very big difference for him. He's already sort of bringing her along wherever he's going so that she is there to support him, and because she's very much an important part of who he is.
Just remind us, Angela, for people who are watching and listening to this, why Prince Charles didn't marry Camilla. If you're saying if even at that young age he was expressing their connection in that way, just tell people why they weren't, I'm going to say the word allowed, in inverted commas, to marry.
Yes. Well, they had everything in common and a self-deprecating sense of humour. They got on very well. They trusted each other. But Prince Charles was only 22, and I think he was very, very nervous about committing himself to somebody at that age, as many men are. Two, Camilla had what they call his history, and at that time, the wife of the heir to the throne had to be a virgin. They also had to be an aristocrat, but that wasn't so important. It was the virgin aspect. And so Prince Charles then knew that his parents wouldn't accept it. And indeed, they did not. They were very angry that he continued to go out with her. And they were pushing him really to find someone who they felt was more suitable. It's very sad. They could have had many happy decades together, but love topped everything else, and they've been together now for a long time. And you can see how natural they are. And of course, life has changed because you see that Catherine and Sophie are both sort of commoners with excellent marks around it, but we don't know what happened to them before they met the man they married, and it didn't really matter. But it's now the heir, and I don't think that will continue anymore. Life is very different.
There are parents sort of like me who have slightly younger children. We're getting asked all sorts of questions at the moment because this is such a significant event in their young lives. I have to say, the question that they asked about why did Prince Charles not marry Camilla, I have found that one quite hard to answer, Angela. So it does seem extraordinary that was the decision taken in our lifetime. What a long way they've all come, actually. What a long way from then. I just want to read to our viewers and our listeners, and you will be very familiar with this, of course. The Queen was very good at putting her affairs in order in 2022, and she wrote the letter, of course, on the 6th of February, in which she said, "I remain eternally grateful for and humbled by the loyalty and affection that you continue to give me. And when in the fullness of time my son Charles becomes king, I know you will give him and his wife Camilla the same support that you've given me. And it is my sincere wish that when that time comes, Camilla will be known as Queen Consort as she continues her own loyal service." How significant...
I can do that.
Sorry, Angela, carry on.
Yeah, I can describe that exactly. When they got married in 2005, neither of them were very popular. And the powers that be felt that they didn't want to push their luck and say that she will become a Queen Consort because there was such a powerful admiration of Diana, even though she had passed away in terrible circumstances. And so they put in Princess Consort to sort of diminish her, really. I think it was a terrible insult because it was just because she had an affair with a married man and she'd been divorced. She had a divorce. And that lingered all the way until Her Majesty the Queen made that letter in February. It is absolutely extraordinary. And there are a lot of people who were very angry that this had been given to her because they still felt they were either huge Diana supporters or they were very religious Christians who felt that because they had a marriage ceremony in a non-religious place, despite then going on and having a Christian blessing, they didn't have a proper marriage. But that has diminished now, and it would have been very difficult if the Queen hadn't done that for the government to decide. And it would have been their responsibility what they would call her. But because the Queen has said that, there can be no argument that she didn't want her because she didn't speak to Camilla for a long time. She wouldn't go to where she was, but they gradually got friendly and she could see what a big difference she'd made to Charles. They could see her duty and how hard she was working. And they warmed together. They had lots in common, you know, like horses and dogs and humour, lots of things. But if she hadn't done that, she knew there would be an argument, and it was a way of her tidying things up. And I don't think anybody has really contradicted that now. So again, this wonderful woman did absolutely the right thing at absolutely the right time. It was incidentally on the first day of her Platinum Jubilee year. So it's obviously something she had planned and decided to do on that day. Very, very important.